Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com. Hi, I'm Joe Mishka. Welcome to another episode of Rural Heritage TV. There's a lot of things you can do with a team of horses. We usually focus on using them in farm fields or logging in the woods. Bruce and Denice Reckling of Mount Vernon, Iowa, have found another way to enjoy their team of big Percheron geldings. They hook them to a draft horse-sized Leon Marathon carriage and take them down wooded trails usually traveled by hikers, mountain bikers, or horseback riders.
So what we do, Joe, is this is just the wagon just fits, and I have to take the back step off, but it goes right up in the front, and I need 10 feet for the wagon and 10 feet for the horses, so the divider works well, and that's how we travel. Nice. And the hay goes up over top there. So we put interference boots on their rear legs.
Sure.
As when we cross, do some tight turns and stuff like that, it protects right back here on their inner leg right there, because they'll do switching over and with their feet.
He's a little cowhawk.
Yeah, he's a little cowhawk. So
you're protecting them from interfering with themselves.
Correct.
Yeah,
the shoes are sharp.
Yeah.
And so we put a little cornstarch in there, and away we go. Front to back.
I wish they would calm down.
They know the routine, Joe. They stand and they work these horses, especially drafts. They start when they're babies, and they put them in a halter, and then when they're right at 2, they'll hook them up with an older horse in the harness, and they have to behave, because that older horse will tell them where they're supposed to be going. So that's good. And then they don't fight it. It's useless or pointless. All you got to do is make sure you tell them what you're doing, and they're mindful of that. We've taken these to Wisconsin, Michigan, Black Hills, South Dakota. In fact, we're planning another trip back to the Black Hills, and we go about 8 hours, and then we stop at Mitchell, is halfway, exactly halfway. And so there's a real nice horse hotel there. They got a turnout stall. They can stretch their legs, and so can we. And we get up next day and finish our trip out to Custer. We go to Custer's. What you do, we always want them to stand still while we're around their legs. Shoeing especially, they got to stand still for the farrier. We don't have to put them in stocks, which they start them that way, but they shoe freehand. It's just a lot easier on them. Otherwise, they got to tie a leg up for a half an hour, and they get tired of that after a while. So they love being freehand shod.
We now have 4 volumes of America's Rural Yesterday books with photos of farm life 100 years ago, Fieldwork has images of horses in the fields working the ground, planting, and harvesting the crop. Barn and Farmyard shows farmers putting that crop in the barn, silo, or corn crib and caring for poultry, hogs, cattle, and more. In At Home and in Town, farm families prepare Sunday dinner, relax in the parlor, drive to town by buggy or wagon, and visit the general store. Finally, Early Tractors has over 250 photos of early American tractors like Alice Chalmers, Oliver, John Deere, Farmall, Minneapolis Moline, and many more. These photos are of new tractors back in the day and show how they were configured coming out of the factory. Buy any of these books for $24.95 plus shipping. When you buy 2 or more, the price per book goes down, all the way to $17.49 per book when you buy all 4. To order, just call 1-877-647-2452 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com. That's 877-647-2452.
So this is kind of the worst part of the whole deal. Thank you. Yeah, he's a helpful hand today. So this tongue is suspended with a spring in here. So there's, on these marathon carriages, which this is called, it's self-supporting. So there's not a lot of weight on the horse's neck.
On the yoke, yeah.
Yep. So it's really.
There's the spring. There's the.
This is the third link, is what they call it, and that hooks to that spring in there.
Nice.
So yeah, it's.
That is nice.
Up, please. Whoa, whoa, right there. You're good. So, a lot of the. Yeah. So, the traditional tongues, wagon tongues, are all just laying down, and so this is just a different deal. And if you take a look underneath, you'll see the independent suspension, like a race car. This link in the middle is supported on the outside with shock absorbers and an airbag on each wheel. So if you hit a bump, it doesn't have an axle that goes through. So this side will come up and that side will not. So it's very user friendly. Once we get going, I'll tell you the history on this particular, the Leon itself, how it got developed. It's got individual, you can see each disc brakes on each wheel. So I have 3 pedals. There's a middle pedal, and then there's a pedal on each side. So the pedal closest to you is for the tongue. There's a disc brake on the tongue on the 5th wheel. So if we get stuck in a dead end situation and I have to back up straight, I can put that 5th wheel brake on and I can back them straight out of our trap. If we get
locks the tongue.
It locks. There's a disc brake right underneath of there.
And it locks it in whatever position you push the foot, whatever position it is when you push the
Yes.
pedal down. So it could be at an angle if you wanted to lock it.
Correct. Absolutely.
Wow. That
And
is cool.
yeah, I've had to use it a few times. And then the middle pedal is the front disc brakes, and the right pedal is the rear. And then I've got a lock parking brake, so it locks in the front brakes.
You have the keys.
Yeah. So each bag has its own air valve on it, and depending on how many people I'm going to carry, I can either raise it or lower the airbag, and we're good to go. So you just got to tell them, little kiss, and they got to move over. And then we say bridle, good boy. And then he opens up and says, okay. It's all about repetition and consistency with these guys. They'll do what you ask. It's just, if you're good to them, they be good to you.
It also makes sure that you're doing what you need to do in the right order and you get it done.
Yep.
If you have somebody trying to help or distracting you.
Yeah, it's all about safety. I don't help other people harness their horses unless they ask me, but they all got their way and how they do their adjustments and everything. So we've got a routine and we pretty much stick with it. I reverse these horses every other time. I put one on the left one day and the next day I'll put him on the right. Just keeps them thinking, especially on some of the commands. You want them to get used to your voice if we want to turn them right or left, and if we're going to the left, I want the left horse to start out first. And, all right, come G. G. So Clay actually came out first. He knew that he was supposed to go, so we'll drive him around a little bit. Whoop, whoa. Easy back, cash to back, cash. Easy back, easy back, easy back, back, back. Whoop, whoa. Cash over, over. Good boys. So Denice gets in this is where she gets in the carriage. We get this hooked up so she can hang on to the lines. I'll wait till she gets inside, then I'll do the back chains. This is our safety wrap so nothing comes undone up here. We put that on the quick release. They can catch that ring. We've done it, it's happened going up a real steep hill before. So I wrap it here. Yep, you'll see some of the hills. We don't have any real terrible ones here, but there can be some situations. These are regular carabiners that screw and lock into place. They're pretty much ready to go. When I tell them to get going, they get going. Especially, you'll notice when we come to a hill, an incline, they'll want to trot up the hill, which is a little easier for them to pull. But you're sitting in what they call a wedge seat. So the true marathoners, they park their butt right in the back there, and you put your feet right up against this rail, and no seat belts, but you can stay tucked in a little bit better. The history of the Leon is not a long one, but marathon carriages have been around for a long time, but the Leons were developed by two gentlemen in 2005, and one guy's name was Chester Weber and the other was Jim Westbrook. Yeah, they developed them in 2005, and basically it's a size up for drafts because marathons come in for ponies, light driving horses, Morgan horses, and they're all weigh between 350 and maybe 700 pounds. So this is the step up. This one will weigh between 11 and 1200. And you can just tell the ride that you're getting right now.
Oh, yeah.
So they make 4 models of them. This is a 170 XT, which XT is the extra tall. So the frame is taller, the box is a little taller. Plus I've got the 32-inch fat tired bicycle tires on it. So they come with 29-inch wheels. And I wanted it because actually the height of the horses, and I can see for what we do when we trail ride, I can see if there's an obstruction or a hole or something like that.
Do you drive on trails where wildlife is more of a concern? I mean, here a deer could, or a pheasant could come out.
Yeah.
A grouse, I guess.
Yeah, we have some of the trail. Yeah, we haven't seen. I think we scare them off, the rattling of the chains and stuff. We do come across turkeys often where we drive around our place. And they do, usually they'll see the wildlife first.
Yeah, right.
And it's very common. And so it's not a big concern, but you always got to be mindful that they're still a horse and their way of surviving is to run.
Right.
So, yeah, they like this little jog. It's very easy for them to pull.
They're having fun.
Yeah,
They're having fun.
they're doing what they love to do. They love to get out, and this thing rolls so easily.
It really does.
Oh, it's phenomenal. So I bought Clay first. We drove him single in a lighter marathon carriage called a Cootsman. And one of my mentors said, Bruce, you got to get another one. So it's just another discipline. And of course that was Dwight Hughes. He said, you got to get another one. So he's responsible for this.
Because it's nice to have 2.
It is.
Yeah.
And with this weight of this carriage, I mean, I've driven it single with Cash before and Clay.
Sure.
On level ground.
Right.
But in the hills, you know, it's nice to have a pair. Oh, whoop, we got walkers ahead. Whoop. Are you a rider? Okay.
We gotta pull off to the side.
We're going to pull off if you'd like.
Where are we gonna spot?
We can pull over if you like.
Or just stay here?
This is the thing.
No.
Well,
If we're
I don't want to scare your horses, so I'm going to pull off to the right here a little bit. Step up. Step up. Saddle horses don't like wagons. Whoop. Whoa. All right. You want to, is that okay with you? All right. Easy. So this is,
no.
thank you for saying something. I couldn't see up there. Are you guys out of the stable back there?
Yeah, we're at
Okay.
Wolf Bottom.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Have a great day. You're welcome. So this is what we like to do, is just pull over and let them pass. Wait till they're gone. A lot of them will just, the horse will spin the circle. And they don't like it, saddle horses. All right, we're coming up to our first hill, gang. I got a couple different commands, depending on if you're another wagon train. I use a kiss or walk on, or all right, depending on what their command. Because I've had people in the back kiss, and guess what? They're listening. So we're gonna trot up this hill. People always say, well, Bruce, why don't you video when you're driving? I said, well, who's going to drive then? So I got to take care of that. There'll be a place we'll pull off up here, give them a little blow. Whoop, whoa. So, the contact that I have with their mouth is key, and they know, like when Denice drives, she'll have a little bit different arm pressure than I will, and they know when somebody else different is driving, and they're very in tune to that. If you look at them right now, their ears are poked out. They're looking. They're watching the trail ahead because they've been on this so many times, and they know what to.
Very alert.
They are, and that's the carriage horse in them coming out. So this is when we park, we use the necktie. That's why we have the halters on. So I just simply put it around one horse, and we hook it to this adjustable snap for the big different size of horse. This unscrews and can be tighter or looser. We go down through the halter like this, and then we tie up to the tree, which we're going to need another rope. So Denice, could you get me the other rope, please? She'll get it out. And then I like to keep them away from the tree a little bit, but we'll tie two ropes together and they won't go anywhere. So that's the necktie.
So do you put that on both horses?
No, just one.
Okay.
Nope. Yeah, he won't bother.
Sure.
He can't go anywhere, so just got to tie. You can tie them both, but I don't need to.
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of back-to-the-land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.